Monday night, 8:15. We got the Ravens traveling to the Bay, take on the 49ers.
Tell me when to go.
Nah,
5.5 point underdogs, right? So
yeah.
I don't totally disagree with that line. I do think going going into the game, there has been some disrespect from the national people about the Ravens. Not that I care. Who we've said for years, like national people, you know, they're entertainers. They're not here to really just give you the real about each and every aspect of the game, the players, the teams. It's too much sports to consume, and they got money. You know what I mean. They out, at night, doing what they do, you know what I mean, spending their money. Like they're not in watching games and shit. So when they wake up in the morning, they producers in their ears, they, you know, looking at the box scores and saying what they can off of those box scores. But saying that, I do think the Ravens, this is a game that we should go in as underdogs. I think we have something to prove, and this is a great opportunity. It's going to be a hell of a test. You got the 49ers, who are, I think, one of the most complete team in the NFL. On offense, they can give you 30. On defense, they can limit you to, season low yardage totals. I think this is going to be an absolute test. I think we match up well with them, even on defense as far as their offense. I think Debo we match up well with. I think our linebackers will be physical. Kyle Hamilton will be there. Brandon Ayuk, Marlon, that's going to be an interesting battle. Kittle, again, Hamilton and our linebackers, I think we can throw some different looks at him. We can get pressure. We lead the league in sacks. So we can speed up Brock Purdy's clock, hopefully. He's been really good at being on time with his throws and going where the ball is supposed to go, but hopefully we can disrupt him a little bit. Christian McCaffrey is going to be the equalizer, but he's everybody's equalizer. Who stops Christian McCaffrey? Christian McCaffrey stops Christian McCaffrey. Nobody else. So that's going to be interesting. On the flip side, though, Lamar Jackson can say the same thing. I think Lamar Jackson and injuries have stopped Lamar Jackson. I haven't really seen too many teams stop him. Maybe contain him as far as what his ceiling is, but I haven't seen too many stopping him, and that's going to be an interesting test. I do think this is going to be a seesaw battle back and forth, but I did want to point out the 49ers schedule and the defenses they've had to play this year, starting with the Steelers 20th ranked defense, the Rams 18th ranked defense, Giants 24th ranked defense, the Cardinals 25th ranked defense, Cowboys 6th ranked defense, the Browns number 1 ranked defense, and that ended in a loss. The Vikings,
I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing.
the Vikings were 12th in defense, ended in a loss. The Bengals 30th, that was a loss too, but whatever. Jags 27th ranked defense, Bucks 26th ranked defense, Seahawks 28th ranked defense, the Eagles 22nd ranked defense, Seahawks again, and then the Cardinals again at 25. We're the second ranked defense. So we're going to see how we stack up and they stack up against us, because they haven't had a whole lot of tests. But one thing I will say about the 49ers, when they do have a test, when they are playing a great team, especially this season, they've kind of gotten the better matchups and they've been dominant in those matchups. Don't think it's going to be like that with us, but it's going to be an interesting test. We're going to have a treat on Christmas. We're going to open our gifts. Our kids going to have fun. We're going to sip a little brown. And by 8 o'clock, hopefully we don't pass out by then, but by 8 o'clock, we're going to be feeling pretty good and watching that game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we come in here and talk about primetime games, the NFL finally got it right for once. We should get a dandy on Christmas. I'm going to start with the 49ers, though. Behind Purdy and McCaffrey, the 11-3 Niners coming with a 6-game winning streak. They're averaging 34.5 points a game in those contests while winning by at least 12 points a game. So they coming in, like Nick said, they dominating these teams. In Arizona last week, they scored touchdowns on 5 of their first 8 possessions. So they're efficient in that nature as well. They rank first in percentage of successful plays, first in yards per play, and first in offensive plays of 20 plus yards as well. The same has mostly been true of San Francisco's defense as well, only allowing 16.7 points a game, which only trails us at 16.1. So they solid on both sides of the ball. Now let's talk about the system, the quote-unquote system quarterback, Brock Purdy, which I don't think he's that. He just had a 6th game on Sunday with at least a QB rating of 130 or higher, which is tied for the most in a single season in NFL history. His league leading 119.0 QB rating is 13 points higher than the next person, which is Tua. And since 2000, it's only been one NFL leader that finished with a larger gap, and that was Tom Brady finishing over Ben Roethlisberger back in 07. So Brock Purdy's been dominant. Is it Kyle Shanahan? I'm sorry, sure, but you still got to go out and you still got to make the plays. I think Kyle Hamilton alluded to that earlier this week that Brock Purdy not a system quarterback. So the Ravens are going to have to come in. They're going to have to get to him. They're going to have to try to confuse him. You saw an offensive genius in McVay kind of dial up mismatches against us a few weeks ago. So Mike McDonald has to be better in that regard as well. And so now let's just talk about the Ravens. I mean, we run the ball 50.8% of the time. The 49ers have been giving up yards on the ground. They just gave up 235 yards on the ground last week to Arizona. So can we come in? Can we establish our will? Can we run the ball down their throat? That's really going to be what determines this game. Can we win up front? Can the offensive line win up front? Can you stop? You can't stop Bosa and Chase in that front, but can you at least contain them? Lamar's going to be Lamar. I've been talking about him for the past few weeks. He's at 3,100 yards now. He's just 22 yards shy of his career high that he had in his MVP season. So he's playing great football. That's what you want this time of year. So if Lamar can go in and continue to do what he's been doing, distribute the ball, I feel confident in what we can do in this game. I really do. My only worry is they got that guy on that other side, Christian McCaffrey, man. In 6 week 10, the Ravens are 28th in rush defense. So Nick's been alluding to it for several weeks. We haven't been sound defensively. And when we give up 100-yard rushes this year, we 0-2 in those games. So you talking about Christian McCaffrey, who just had a 600-yard rushing game last week. I'm sorry. That's going to be the thing. Can you hold him below 100 yards? That may ultimately determine his game for the Ravens. So we've got to be good defensively. The only thing I'm missing, man, is Keaton Mitchell. His impact, man, since he came into the rotation in week 9, his average is 6.53 yards before contact, led the NFL by 2.39 better than Jahmyr Gibbs. So he's going almost 7 yards without getting touched, man. So can Gus come in and do that? Can Justice come in and at least try to supplement that? I guess we'll see on Monday, but I feel encouraged going into this game. I think it'll be a slugfest. I don't think you're going to see a bunch of points. Both of these teams both lead the league in rushing. They're 1-2, so it's going to be a fun game, man. Merry Christmas to us, for sure. Merry Christmas to us.
Yeah, I got the 49ers winning this game. Yeah, I got them. I got the bullies from the West punching the bullies from the East. This is going to be a good matchup. These are the two most physical teams in the league. What the 49ers have to do, and it's tough. It's tough. He's going to get his shit off, but you got to limit them off-script improvising plays that Lamar gets off every week. You got to limit them. You have to. You can't let Likely and those boys just go off. They got the linebackers on that side to make these matchups a little more contested than they have been. But you got Isaiah Likely out there looking like the next coming in tight ends. That cannot happen. And that's going to be up to Bosa. That's going to be up to Young, Hargrave getting pressure from the middle, really collapsing that pocket. And when you put your hand on Lamar, it's tough. He got to go down because if he's been fucking David Bland in that pocket for the past couple weeks now, you can't bring him down off first contact. 49ers want to be successful, got to get him down on the ground. They haven't really played a quarterback like Lamar, so I'm interested in seeing how that defense steps up to the test. But I do have the 49ers winning because that offensive line is, you can't snap count Ronnie in this game. It's going to be a dog in front of him. Whether they flip Chase or Nick, there's going to be a dog in front of him. It's not going to matter.
Nick Bosa versus Ronnie Stanley. Oh, my gosh. It might be a murder out here, man. God damn.
I don't know. Nick might be easy on Ronnie because Ronnie an ally.
I'm saying
he might take it easy on Ronnie. He an ally. But
and I forgot to mention, but I talked about Justice Hill and Gus supplementing Heaton. Through week 9, they said that Justice Hill averaged a 2.97 yards before contact, ranked 5th among the 45 running backs at that time. So, I mean, we're going to be able to run the ball. Like, I think we're going to be able to establish that. That offense on the other side, like we didn't mention Brandon Ayuk yet. We didn't mention Debo Samuels. We didn't mention George. Like, they loaded, man. So you're going to have to be sound defensively. Matabuki, you're going to have to continue to establish that pressure. Clowney, you're going to have to set the edge. Because we all know McCaffrey, them stretch runs, man. Once he break that thing inside, it's night-night.
Yeah, I can't wait for this game, man.
No, yeah, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for this game. This is going to be a treat. Moving right along.